Well, good morning. This is the Fellowship of Spirit coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico. This is the 3rd of September, 2023, and we're just delighted that you're with us this morning and hope that you will find some of the things that we are going to be talking about of value to you and increases the joy and happiness in your life. And Brother Mark Wolf is our main speaker, and he is really good at offering those things for you. So we're just really happy that you're here. Today is our first Sunday of the month, is our potluck Sunday. We wish you were with us to enjoy the food that we're going to have after the service. Margaret Cheesebro is going to be playing the piano for us, and Steve Barker, if he gets here, will be singing for us. Also today is we are reinstituting our youth program, where we have some children in another room just doing whatever they do in there to have a good time and have some instruction. And so that's a good thing. We've been without a youth program probably since before COVID, huh? So it's been a couple of years, maybe 3 years, since we've had any thing to offer for children, but we do now. And so we're happy to be here. Jerry, do you have any announcements that we need to make before?
I think everything's okay.
Oh, everything is good right now. So
Susan brought peaches to share with people, and there's bags with them to make sure that people know.
Susan Palco has brought some peaches in from her place, where she has numerous fruit trees out at her place. Some of us have been out there and enjoyed her beautiful place that she has out there. She has a labyrinth that we all went through, and we really enjoyed that. It was just wonderful. I just remembered I'm supposed to be doing the spiritual reading. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. So anyway, okay, so if you will just sit back and relax and try to prepare yourself for the good stuff that's to come your way by listening to the prelude, which is going to be "Nothing is Impossible" by Eugene L. Clark and performed by Margaret Cheesebro. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, so Susan is not here to pray us open. So does anyone want to offer a prayer? Okay, I will. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this fellowship, which holds us each one in its bosom and just gives love to us. We ask that you would watch over all those who are presenters today and help them to be able to give love and light to the best of their abilities. We ask that you would bless the people whose hands have prepared our meal after the service, and bless those that have prepared it and the food that we shall eat to the nourishment of our bodies. We ask that you eat these things. Amen. Okay, so I don't suppose there's ever a not good prayer, but there's some that are better than others. I guess. Anyway, all right. So now we have another song. New Mercies, New Blessings is number 220 in our songbook.
This is different words, but the tune is very familiar. It's to the song of Come Home Be Faithful, number 220.
All right. Thank you, Margaret and Steve. Okay, join me in our recitation of our reflective moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. Okay. I find that my old standbys are either a conversation with God or round the world with Emmett Fox. We just can't do too bad. So today is September 3rd, and this is the reading probably will go right hand in hand with what Mark has for us later. As children of the Most High, we have a divine heritage and therefore a right to expect that God will take care of us in every way. The Bible is full of promises so as to what God will do for his children, but perhaps Jesus put it in the most plainly when he said, "What man is there of you whom, if his son asks bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will give him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask him?" That's Matthew 7:9-11. So you have a divine right to expect all these good things from God. But what does God expect of us? Well, God has a right to expect that we will put him first in our hearts. Then God expects us to have a lively faith. Faith in itself is a reliance upon the goodness of God. And lastly, God expects us to go to him in prayer as a son who knows that even before he is asked, the loving Father has answered. So, okay. So now we have another song, number 192 in our songbook, Let's Celebrate Life. Okay, well, that's great. So now we're going to have a message from Brother Mark Wolf from Northern Kentucky. And he says that his morning today is just as glorious as it is here in San Juan County. Just a bright and shiny, sunshiny day with no clouds and good temperatures. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just right. So let us welcome Mark Wolf.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here with you this morning. You know, it's Labor Day weekend. It's about this time of year that we stop and we say, "Wow, what happened to the year? It's September." You know, we didn't see that coming. And in just a couple of weeks, it's going to be Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year on the Jewish calendar, and it will be the year 5784. Now, it's Rosh Hashanah that I want to talk about this morning. Now, Rosh Hashanah is not just another religious holiday that only applies to people who follow a certain religion. You know, so a few years ago, I heard somebody say, "Oh, all religious holidays are the same. They're the same. You read the Bible, you eat some food, you sing a song, you go home. All the same." Well, when understood correctly, Rosh Hashanah is not just another religious holiday. We don't need any more religion. Okay, we're up to here with that. So this is not another religious holiday. It is it's an opportunity for us to get a deeper connection to the spiritual light of God. All right, an opportunity that is offered to everyone. Now, we might ask, well, why do we need a deeper spiritual connection to the light of God? I mean, why do we need that? Isn't the connection we have already good enough? Well, yes and no. The spiritual connection we have was good enough to get us this far. But now we have an opportunity to grab hold of even more light that will take us forward with greater blessings and wonders than we've ever seen before. Now, we might ask, okay, well, what is this light of God anyway? What are we even talking about? Okay. Well, the light of God is the energy of blessing. All right. It is the light of God is the source of healing. It is a source of miracles. It is a source of blessing and wonders. It is this light of God, literally, in some form or another, is what we're praying for. Okay. And this is described in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7. And now a very powerful surge of this light is about to be made available to us if we know how to connect to it. Now, to understand what it means and how to connect to it, we're going to go about it in a little roundabout way. And instead of diving right into Rosh Hashanah, I want to take you on a little journey. We're going to uncover the secret of blessing and healing and miracles by exploring a peculiar teaching in the Old Testament. A teaching so strange, so peculiar, that nobody even pays attention to it, not realizing that it hides the secret of healing and blessing. So, could I interest you in a miracle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, now let's get started.
Bring it on.
Okay, here we go. Okay, now, speaking of getting started, my daughter started school about 2.5 weeks ago. All right, 11th grade. I mean, how did that happen? The last thing I remember is she was playing with Angry Birds on the floor, and now she's in the 11th grade. You know, yeah, really. So anyway, an elective class that she has been interested in, she signed up for this elective class, and it's called Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament. Now, I have serious reservations about Bible class in public school. But she wanted to take it, and they offer it, so here we are. So, first day of school, they took a test so that the teacher could get an idea about how much they already knew. So she brought the test home, and before I knew what was happening, I was taking the test. I did pretty good on it. But it had some hard questions. It's had some questions from Ezekiel and Daniel and First Chronicles and the book of the Revelation. It was intense. So anyway, one of the questions asked, which tribe of Israel was specifically set aside for the purpose of singing in the temple? I said, well, that one was pretty easy for me, is the Levites. The descendants of Levi or Levi, who was one of Jacob's sons with his first wife, Leah. So I said to my daughters, doesn't it seem strange that an entire tribe, like an entire extended family through the centuries, would be set aside to sing? It's proof that God loves music, right? But that's not the only thing that's interesting about the role of Levites in Israelite society. Now, consider these references, okay? And there are a lot more than this. We're gonna plow through a number of these quickly, just so you get an idea of what we're talking about. Okay, Deuteronomy 10:9. Therefore, Levi has no portion or inheritance with his brethren. Deuteronomy 12:12. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and daughters, and the Levite who is within your gates, because he has no portion or inheritance with you. Deuteronomy 14:27. You shall not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part or inheritance with you. Deuteronomy 14:29. The Levite has no portion or inheritance with you. Deuteronomy 18:1. And the tribe of Levi shall have no part or inheritance with Israel. Okay, so we start to think that perhaps the Levites have no portion or inheritance with Israel. But wait, there's more. Now, remembering that both Moses and his brother Aaron were Levites. Numbers 18:20. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you shall have no inheritance in their land, nor shall you have any portion among them. Numbers 18:24. Among the children of Israel, the Levites shall have no inheritance. Numbers 26:62. The Levites were not numbered among the other children of Israel because there was no inheritance given to them. I said, okay, we get it. Stop. Okay. Joshua 13:14. Only to the tribe of Levi he had given no inheritance. Joshua 18:7. But the Levites have no portion among you. So our question now is kind of obvious. Why is this phrase repeated over and over? Think about it. The 10 Commandments, remember those? The 10 Commandments occur twice. Once in Exodus, once in Deuteronomy, and that's it. But this whole thing about the Levites starts to sound like some sort of a mantra. It's just repeated over and so many times. So is it possible that it is repeated so many times because it's important? Could it be hiding something interesting? So here's the thing about the Levites. Let me tell you the story of the Levites. When the children of Israel were living in the desert of Sinai, okay, they worshiped God in a huge tent, okay, and it was built according to specs laid out in the book of Exodus. And during this time period, the Levites were responsible for keeping up with the parts and the pieces of this tent. It was called the tent of meeting. And they took care of the parts. They actually carried the parts from place to place as the Israelites moved around. Later, when King Solomon built an actual temple in Jerusalem, the Levites sang songs in the temple and they provided the music. But the purpose of the Levites is far more interesting than that. Listen. Remember to take care of the Levite who's within your gates because he has no inheritance like you have. Well, why? Seriously, why? Here's the thing. The Creator, with perfect wisdom, set aside a group of people within Israel, a group of people that the Israelites would always need to look after and care for. Okay, the purpose, the spiritual purpose of the Levites within Israelite society was to provide the people with someone to share with. As long as there were Levites, there would be someone to share with. So by ensuring that Israelite society was founded on the idea of sharing, they were able to bring a steady flow of blessing and prosperity and protection and miracles. As long as the Israelites were sharing and giving, they were protected and blessed by the light of God. The existence of the Levites made sure that there would always be someone to share with. Now, what does this have to do with us today? Right? And certainly, what does it have to do with Rosh Hashanah? Well, let's leave the Levites, okay? Let's leave the Levites for a moment. We'll come back to them. And now let's talk about Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah. Excuse me. Try that again. Rosh Hashanah literally means head of the year. It falls every year on the first 2 days of the lunar month of Tishrei, which corresponds to the astrological sign of Libra, the balance. Sometimes Rosh Hashanah is referred to as the Day of Judgment, but that's not really a good description of what it's all about. Rosh Hashanah is an opening. It is a window in the spiritual universe where we are given the opportunity to download the light and energy of miracles. Now, some people like to say, oh, well, you don't need Rosh Hashanah, that's all this stuff. I can pray anytime I want to. Okay, I get it. Of course you can pray anytime you want to. But a thing they don't tell you, all right, a thing they don't tell you is that not all times are good for prayer. Okay, not all times are created equal. That's why the tabernacle, the tent in the desert, was referred to as the tent of meeting. Okay, because meeting implies a specific time. And in Hebrew, the idea is more nearly like the tent of appointments or the tent of appointed times. We read about this in Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 16, verse 2 says, the Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron your brother not to come into the holy place just anytime he likes. And in Isaiah chapter 55, it says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. The implication being that he may not always be found so easily, might not always be quite so near. So we understand that not all times are created equal, and some times are literally made for prayer. And Rosh Hashanah is one of those times. My teacher in the Kabbalah taught us that on Rosh Hashanah, every soul on earth is taken up to appear before the Creator for sort of a performance appraisal. Now, how's that even possible? Well, I mean, how can you get that many souls up in front of the Creator in just a couple of days? Well, it's pretty easy when souls are going to a place where time does not exist. So if you had a performance appraisal with the Creator for 45 minutes and you get back to Earth and only a zillionth of a second has gone by. Now, every soul meets with the Creator, and it doesn't matter what religion, because it doesn't matter if they have no religion, because it's not about religion. Souls meet with God even if they don't believe in God. Doesn't matter. It's not about religion. It's about spiritual energy. It's about bringing light into the darkness of the earth. My teacher in the Kabbalah said that sometimes we can even have the merit to feel and to know when we have met with the Creator. And I believe that, because one Rosh Hashanah several years ago, and this has happened more than once, you know, I was sitting in a chair, I was doing something, I don't know what I was doing, something that had nothing to do with Rosh Hashanah. I'm just sitting there, and then suddenly my entire body is tingling like there's electricity, and this wave of emotion sweeps over me. I have this intense joy and intense sadness, and then it passed in about 2 seconds. And I said, okay, what was that about? And then I realized that, I bet that was my time with the Creator. because I knew that in the preceding year, I had grown spiritually. I had challenged my ego. I had looked for negativity. I had spent time in prayer. I'd studied, I'd shared the Creator's light, and there's much to be joyful about. But I had also failed to give. I had failed to forgive. And there were many times I had been lazy spiritually, and I had blown off opportunities to share. Yeah, it just wasn't. So there is plenty of room to grow and improve. And that's what it's all about. Now, on Rosh Hashanah, the Creator pulls out the big book. You know, the big book? And we read about the big book in the New Testament in Philippians chapter 4, verse 3, and the Revelation chapter 3, verse 5. We read about the big book. And the Creator pulls out the big book on Rosh Hashanah, and we all get the opportunity to see what's written in it. Okay? On Rosh Hashanah, no more secrets. Okay? The book is opened. We're all allowed to see what's written in it. The good things we've done. Okay, particularly the good things that we did and forgot about them. It's all there. We're gonna read about it. We're gonna look at it. And we're gonna say, oh, that's when I forgave that person. You know, I don't even think they wanted to be forgiven, but I forgave them anyway. And here's that time I heard the voice of ego. And I said, oh, it's just the voice of ego. Nothing important. And there's a time I visited someone in the hospital. And look, I'd forgotten about that. I shared something, even though I felt like it was really outside my comfort zone. Well, here's where I had compassion for someone. And I felt someone else's pain in order to share their burden. I smiled at a stranger who knew that that smile would be enough to prevent them from committing suicide. You know, who knew? Seriously, who knew? But it's all in the book, and we all get to take a look at it. Now, there'll be more in the book. All right. And we're going to look in the book and say, oh, yeah, I really was judgmental there. I was not kind in that situation. Oh, there's a time that guy asked me for some money. And I remember thinking, get a job and take a bath. Oh, there's a long list of opportunities where I could have shared, but I was too busy. I wonder what I was too busy with. So there will be joy and there will be sorrow, because we have all missed opportunities to bring light into the world because it did not fit our busy schedule. We have missed opportunities to do good because it was not convenient. And we've all been judgmental. We've all been judgmental. That's why Rosh Hashanah is sometimes called the Day of Judgment, because the judgments that we have measured out against others are measured back to us, so that everything remains in perfect balance in the month of the scales. That's why Rosh Hashanah comes in the month of Tishrei, because it is the month of Libra. Now, let me tell you something. I have to tell you this. I don't gamble. Okay? I don't gamble. I've never been to the casino. I figure I'm just not smart enough. You know, some years ago, my cousin tried to teach me to play poker. I couldn't get it. It didn't make any sense to me. He says, well, 2 of these beat 4 of those. And 4 of those beat 5 of those. And 5 of those beat everything. I said, wait a minute, you do what? What? I never learned to play poker. And so I figured that I'm just not smart enough to understand games of chance. So me and my $2 stay home on Saturday night. But I know one safe bet. All right. One safe bet, and that is simply that all of us will find stuff in the big book that we don't like. Stuff we're ashamed of, stuff that we know is going to come back in a negative way. Might be big, might be small, maybe sickness, God forbid. Maybe someone will be cold and judgmental when we really need some compassion, God forbid. Maybe we're going to lock the phone and the keys in the car, something, but we know that in the big book, we're going to look and we're going to find stuff that's going to come back in some negative way. So what do? I mean, it's written in the big book. So what do? I mean, it's in heaven and stuff, you know. Look, here's the answer. All right. And let me explain it in the way that my teacher explained it to me. Now, yes, we will all be lifted up on Rosh Hashanah. We will all see the big book. But what we're going to look at is really just a final draft. Okay, just a final draft. The document. Okay, and try to imagine that it's a document in Word. All right, and the document is there, but it has not been saved. Okay, the save button, the save button will be clicked on Yom Kippur. Now, Yom Kippur is more often called the Day of Atonement. But really, what it means is that on that day, the document in the big book will be saved. Yom Kippur falls on the 10th day of Tishrei, the month of Libra. So between the first day of Tishrei, which is Rosh Hashanah, and the 10th day of Tishrei, which is Yom Kippur, we have 10 days of opportunity when it's real easy to change our document. 10 days in which we can rewrite our destiny for the coming year and bring an extraordinary light into the world. Now, even after the document in the big book has been saved on Yom Kippur, it's still not been submitted. Okay, 12 days after Yom Kippur, the Creator hits send. And then the document that outlines our new year will be sent. And at that point, the future has largely been written. Now, can we still change the destiny after it's been submitted? Yes. I'll show you, I'll tell you how to do it, but you need to know that it will require more effort. It will be somewhat more difficult because between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, it's very easy to change the destiny. It's very easy to change what's written in the document in the big book. It's very easy because that's the appointed time. That's the time set aside to review the document and change it for the coming year. The Creator has given us a way to change what's written in the big book, and I'm going to share that with you. But first, there's something you need to know. Something that nobody else is going to tell you. Kind of a secret. So let's ask a hard question. A question that was not on the test when my daughter went to school for the first day. Who's writing the big book? I mean, seriously, who is writing the big book? Who's writing the big book? We are. Okay, we are. We are writing the big book, not God. We were taught that, in traditional religion, that God is sitting at a desk, he's got a pen, he's got a bottle of ink, and he's writing the big book, and he says, aha, gotcha. Oh, that's going in the big book. Ooh, oh yeah, that's going in the big book. I'm going to get you for that. And it's not like that. Because God is love, and God's kindness extends forever, and we are writing our own big book according to the way that we love and forgive others and share with them. Okay, it is about how much we share their burdens and feel their pain, and how generously we share with them. That's how the big book is written, and that's why it's so easy to change during the appointed time. Okay, how do you change it? All right, it's simple. All you need is a Levite. Remember them? Remember the Levites? You need a Levite. In other words, someone to share with. Okay, someone to give to. You need someone, and you need somebody to forgive. All right, and most of us have people in our past that we've not forgiven. Between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, you find someone to share with. Ask for a situation where you can have the opportunity to share outside of what's easy and comfortable. Between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, ask to see your ego. Ask, and if you don't know where to find your ego, then ask the light of God to show you some negativity and show you some selfishness. The light will be happy to do that. So, well, I don't have any. Ask the light to show you. You might be surprised, because we all have it. And the light will be happy to show it to us so we can fix it. Say, look, it's this simple. Please, light of God, with mercy and clarity, show me my negativity. show me my selfishness and give me the opportunity to share in such a way that the negativity and the negative decrees are canceled. How simple is that? Now, what if you miss the opportunity to change the destiny written on your document and you realize, eek, I think it's already been submitted. Now what? Well, you can still change it. It's your document. It does take a little more effort, but you can still change it. You just need a Levite. Share, give, forgive, take an action of love and sharing that will carry you outside your comfort zone. Be kind, generous, full of compassion in a moment where it would be more easy to be angry and judgmental. That cancels the negative decrees and brings the healing light. Now, what I've shared with you this morning is nothing less than the way that the Creator has given us to bring light and healing and blessings into our lives. It is the light of miracles. It is the light of wonderful things. This is not religion. The world does not need any more religion. It's about spiritual light and blessings. It's about bringing the light into the world that will move the whole world closer to peace. Now, finally, here are some important dates. Be sure this is marked on your calendar so you can take advantage of the spiritual light that becomes available when it's very easy to access. Rosh Hashanah begins on Friday at sunset, September 15th. Yom Kippur begins Sunday evening, Sunday at sunset, September 24th. Hoshana Rabbah, which is when our performance appraisal becomes the template for the next year, when the Creator hits send, begins at sunset on Friday, October 6th. I hope that you'll be excited about the ability that each and every one of us has to bring in a flood of the light of healing and blessing and miracles. This is the light of miracles. This is the more of us who make the effort to connect to this light, then the closer we all get to the miracle of peace on earth. So, Shana Tova, and the wonders and the blessings of the new year to all of us, but only if I can interest you in a miracle. Okay? Ron, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. We knew that you were going to bring us some new and exciting tools to find the happiness, to find the light, to find ways to share good things with each other. We knew that you were going to do that, and you did not disappoint us. We were very happy. Does anyone like to share with Mark? Come on now.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jerry.
I'm really glad to know about the Levites. Those are little things that are obscure that you don't always catch when looking through the Bible. So
Yes.
no, but I love the inference of that we need somebody, not a Levite specifically, but somebody in that category to share with, because they're all around us, you know?
Yes, they are.
Know that that's what they are and that they're there for us. So it's a blessing, it really is. And like Ron said, you never fail to show what we need. So thank
You're a
you.
sweetheart.
Blessings to you.
You
And
too.
your daughter in the 11th grade. I find that interesting that high school is offering classes in religion. Go figure.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're teaching creation. They're
Well,
teaching creation as if it was science.
But it's scary.
We had a talk on the kitchen table the other day. I said, sweetheart, they're teaching you creationism.
Not religion.
And they're teaching it as if it's science, and it's really not.
Kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
Who else? Anyone else? Anyway, so I have nothing to say about that, about your daughter and thing, it is what it is. Anyway, we really appreciate you coming to us and sharing with us. And it did go right along with the spiritual reading, although the spiritual reading was just September 3rd of Fox and his year and his reading. It was just, it always amazes me that how those things all go together. Anyway, it talked about, accepting the gifts. And this is one of the gifts that we have, if we can have the courage to look at our own failings and our own ego and get out of the way. And how can we do that is by helping others, because that's when we look and we are, when ego is controlling us, we are very self-absorbed. And the only way to get out of self-absorption is to do something for someone else. It's really good. So thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. And I hope that you'll stick around with us and finish up. So thank you very much. Let's give Mark Wolf a big hand.
Yay, Mark, and thanks for the message. And in response, Margaret has chosen "I'm Ready for a Miracle," which we're going to sing for you.
All right. Thank you, Margaret. Steve, for bringing us that wonderful music that is the lubricant that makes the messages and everything all cohesive and come together and makes it much more enjoyable. We thank you. Okay, so now it's time for our celebration of abundance. So if you will take out that which you intend to contribute and repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous.
Ron, I'd like to add one thing to Mark's talk. My guides say, be ready to recognize a miracle, because many times they come gift wrapped in ways we don't expect.
Thank you, Marion. We don't know if Susan is if you're gonna have Course of Miracles this next Wednesday.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. Okay, so, Course in Miracles will be, happening next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And on Thursday, we will have Power of Eight with Margaret Cheesebro. Next Sunday morning, we will have at 8:45, we will have a book study. We're studying Deepak Chopra's, I forgot the name of the book. Anyway, it's really good. We're enjoying it. It's really good information. And then, of course, next Sunday at 10 o'clock, we will have another message. And who is going to be our speaker?
Next Sunday is Susan.
Susan Barnes from Belize will be speaking to us. So we have a lot of stuff going on.
And the children's group.
Pardon?
The children's group.
The children's group will be in effect next Sunday. We will have it every Sunday from now on until we don't. So anyway, that's kind of the way that it is. So, all right.
There was something else I was saying, I can't remember what it was. I don't remember.
Shay just said that the whole expo is next weekend in Durango.
Yes, that's one of the things I really wanted to, because we have some people who are going to be presenters up there, one of which is going to be Margaret Cheesebro. Also, Sue Breeze is going to have a booth up there. George Harris will have a booth up there. Anyone else that anyone could think of is going to be having a booth? One of our people?
Yeah, a Can Car is gonna have a booth up there, and I'll be helping to man that.
Who?
Soul Travel, we call it a Can Car,
Kankar.
ECKANKAR.
And who is that?
Ekankar.
Ekankar, there you go, thank you. It's a spiritual group.
Oh, are they part of our church, our fellowship?
Well, I'm part of the church, so.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, all right, well, we thank you.
I know what it was I was going to mention. Our next book, which we're probably gonna be starting in the next couple of weeks, is The Prophet.
Yeah, we're gonna have Khalil Gibran's The Prophet is what we're going to study next time. I can't hardly believe that we have not done that before, but we're going to, that's gonna be our next book, so. All right, so now we're gonna have, Bill Clark is gonna give us a closing message.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hard-won goals. This is a quote from Samuel Johnson. Life affords no higher pleasure than that of surmounting the difficulties. Whenever we set a goal, whether it is for a day or for a year, unforeseen obstacles can come up. Sometimes it seems easiest to abandon the dream and replace it with something else. There is great satisfaction in tapping the creativity and the endurance to keep going and overcome the challenge. A hard-won accomplishment is something to be celebrated. The walk away is, I have energy and ability to face the challenges in my life now. I will take the time to ponder a new way to get to my dream. Some of my friends and family might have good ideas to help me get there. God bless, and everybody have a great week.
Thank you, Bill. And don't forget, you are a magnificent, unique, and radiant aspect of the divine. Okay, so we're now gonna gather up our circle and we're gonna sing some songs.
The children are coming to share with us.
Well, maybe we're not gonna do that. We're
I
gonna
know,
wait.
but they're gonna come share and then they'll sing with us.
Okay,
I didn't want them to come while Bill was still talking because they're noisy.
okay.
All right.
Oh, another one?
No, we're not gonna go up there.
Well, probably be in a circle right
We
here.
need to be right there so we can get you on camera.
Okay, create your circle.
Boy, that light is really bright here.
Come on, boys. Mom said she's gonna help.
Let's take it off, or you want to leave it on?
I've got 'em on camera.
Leave it on. Okay, that's the hand you're going to start with. Are we ready? In a circle. Here we go.
All right, Steph, you start. Remember, we're going left, right, everything.
That's right. Okay.
You put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, you put your left hand in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Now this hand.
You put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Left.
You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in and you shake it all out. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Right foot.
You put your right foot in, you take your right foot out, you put your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Ready, whole body.
You put your whole body in, you take your whole body out, you put your whole body in and you shake it all about. You do the whole thing and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, talk about your project real quick.
Other project?
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk about. So, we made puppets here. So, mine's Bob. Mine's just Bob. Very good. Okay. You? Yeah.
Well, yours is cool because what does it have on the back?
Tail.
You put a tail on his. And does yours have a name? We haven't decided yet. That's his name? Wow, that's an angry puppet.
Come on, Fred.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That's
All
great.
right.
Wonderful to have kids in the sanctuary again.
We got to sing for that.
Okay, my girls, let's go clean the room so we can start food.
Alrighty, let's go help clean up. That's part of our project.
Girls,
Hold
stop.
on a minute.
Sashay, stop. What are we singing? What are we doing, Fred?
We sing America and then we sing We.
Oh, yeah, let's sing.
You got
Go in a
it
circle.
up there?
Come on, girls.
Hold hands, Fred.
Kind of spread out. There we go.
Okay, then you come over and
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
May God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Rhonda, so much. Both you ladies.
Thank you for being with us today. We want to invite you back again next Sunday.
Hear that laughter.
Come and be with us. Thank you, Mark.
So Rick,
We'll see
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Mike, Kate. Thank you.
I like you, man.
There's Mike and Lily. Hi, guys. You're muted.
Hi.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah.
You too.
Hey, Mark, you look wonderful.
Thank you. Tell me more.
Okay.
More.
Serious.
That's more than she tells me, Mark, so.
Oh,
Poor guy.
Tell me more.
well, you look good too.
Thank you. Him too.
So Mark, I got a question for you. Have you read much of the Gospel of Thomas?
No,
Yeah, and I ran across that finally after all these years, man, and I'm just infatuated with it. It's just incredible.
I should put it on the list.
It's just my new passion.
Okay.
It starts off with the challenge, you know, it's just, all it is 14 sayings of Jesus.
We can't hear you, Mike.
It's just 114 sayings of Jesus. And
Huh?
with
Oh,
no
you turned the
narrative.
TV off. That's what, I guess. I don't know. You should be able to.
Okay, 114 sayings of Jesus.
No, we can't hear anybody. Turn the TV back on.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Mark can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mark, you can hear me. Anyway,
I can. I'm hearing voices.
it's
Private. We can't hear it.
anyway, yeah, it's just all these things and a lot that you've never heard of, and they're profound. But it almost starts off with like a challenge. You know, the very first one is, you know, he who can interpret the meaning of the sayings will have eternal life and will rule over the all. So I mean, it's just like it starts off as a challenge. If you can interpret the meaning of these sayings, and then it goes on. You know, and like the first saying is, Jesus says, let him who seeks continue to seek until he finds. And when he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished. And he will rule over all of the all. And I just found that so profane. You know, just the idea that, you know, once you find it, you got to deal with it. And that's troubling to the ego, right?
It is.
But once you discover what that is, then you're astonished at what the other side is like. I mean, that's kind of how I interpret.
I'm intrigued.
And then it goes on from there, man. Then the next one and the next one, and it's all these ones you've really never heard it talk about today. And
The Book of Thomas.
but there's a lot of parables, but there's a lot of questions from the disciples. What about this? What about that? Should we pray? Should we fast? And things, and you know, Jesus says, hey, whatever you do, don't do what you hate. You know, if you're not doing it in the spirit of, you know, good and love, then it's for naught. But anyway, like I said, it's just on and on and on. This is one of the commentary books I was reading. But
All right, I'll take a look on Amazon and queue it up.
I'd love to talk to you about it sometime, man. I mean, I ended up having to go in and write every one of them down, on a computer and give them my explanation, thinking, hey, man, I'm on top. But to be able to decipher it for me through the lens of A Course in Miracles is the only way I could do it. Kind of getting into Jesus's head and where he was at when he was saying these things and what they were hearing and how they were trying to interpret it. But anyway, like I said, I got into it just kind of as a fluke. Looking at my bookcase going,
They have to finish so that I can start.
anything, what should I pick out? And all of a sudden this just
I'll be
popped
there in a moment.
and I picked it up and I haven't stopped since, man. I'm telling you, it just overwhelmed me. But the crazy thing is you think you're, hey, I'm interpreting this, I've got this. And then you go back later and you're going, well, wait a minute, it could be looked at like this too,
Okay.
And what I really wanted to bring up to you about is the whole time I'm reading is like, man, I'm thinking of Mark and I'm thinking of why that word and why that place.
Yes. Yes.
That changed my whole view of reading the Bible. And I love studying the Bible, but that idea that every word, in the place that it's used is there for a reason.
Yes, they are.
And so when I absorbed that and like I said, and then into the lens, filtering it through A Course in Miracles, man, this stuff is just profound. Anyway, I hope you check it out. I'd love to talk to you about it sometime, man.
All right, I'll take a look on Amazon.
Okay.
We'll get that last one.
I was actually reading it out of, I have another book, it's called The Other Bible, and it's all the Gnostic writings. And of course, the Gospel of Thomas is in that. And, but yeah, I don't know. So what did you think about the first statement, though, as far as, when he who seeks finds, he will become troubled. And when he becomes troubled, he will be astonished.
The first thing I think of is that if there's something that you want, and then you end up with it and then find out that, yeah, that's not going to make me happy after all. And then you find out that anything that we acquire in the world, even though it might bring us enjoyment, is not going to bring us happiness and fulfillment. And then you have this disillusionment that, oh, I wanted this thing and now I have this thing, but it's just a thing. And we ultimately end up disillusioned in all of our things and all of our toys, because that's not really what we were looking for. What we were really looking for was the light of God.
Exactly. I mean, that's really along the trail I was following too, was that once you discover that which does not make you happy, and you have to deal with that side of yourself, man, that now game on, you have a choice. Like the Course says, choose once again,
Okay, yeah.
Now you have choice, and that choice can be troubling. And, I've come a long way in this little journey of mine, and I'm pretty steadfast in the idea of changing, because once the light has lit on, you can't unsee it.
That's a true thing.
It's there, and so the right thing, but there's that ego. When I was reading it the other night, I was thinking, well, it's like, you've sought for it, but once you find it, and that's the key part I'm thinking in that particular saying, and when he finds, okay, let him who seeks continue to seek until he finds. Well, what is it that you find? I mean, what is that found thing? And that's your true self, I have to believe, that understands, wow, now I'm seeing all the things that I thought were gonna, like you were saying, I thought would make me happy and didn't, or haven't fulfilled that. And once you find that space, now you've got a whole new life, a way of thinking.
Yes, one that you cannot unsee.
Yeah, but it's troubling, But until you face the trouble, then you can't be astonished. You have to, like, you know, you were saying about the ego. Anyway, I know I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but I just, like I said, man, it just, and then you go to the next one, you know, number 2, and it's like, oh my God, man, that is so cool. What is that?
I was just thinking about that, you know, that what they found out is that the universe is expanding. So God, you know, God's love is expanding. And because even if we got to the edge, that then we would expect there to be something over in the edge. So it's never going to get, there's no, it's infinite. That's what, you know, and also in the micro as well as the macro, that as we have things and we have them and we have them, there is no end. There is no fastest gun in the West, because we continue to manifest and, you know, as we go. So there is no end either on the micro or the macro. So that's some Greg Bradenism. I've been doing some Greg Braden stuff, and he's really great at explaining things and tying all things together. If you haven't done it, just go on YouTube, type in Greg Braden, and there's tons and tons of free shows that you can watch. You don't have to subscribe to his site to be able to get good information. Yeah.
No. I don't know. I guess I was just excited again about, I've been really enjoying doing Bible study, but to find something like this little treasure that's so biblical, and it's Jesus. You know, I mean, this is the wisdom sayings of Jesus without all the, here's who he was, and here's where he was, and here's who he was talking to. It's like Jesus, all of them start with Jesus said, and then it goes on. And Jesus said, so you're not getting a full story of hardly anything. You're just getting these sayings, and it's just like, boom. So anyway, it's a nice passion to have, I think.
Yeah.
I love getting excited about it. I read and go, wow.
So the light shined over here where we didn't know there was even light. And now we got to go check it out, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I can see why it didn't make it to the Bible, the canon. I mean, there are a few things that the head scratchers that you're going, yeah, they wouldn't be able to explain that, you know, as compared to the, you know, synoptic Bible, the Gospels and stuff like that. But just a few things, but enough. But it's still, I think, well, you just didn't look deep enough. You know.
Always amazing how old politically correct is. You know, things didn't make it in the Bible because they were not politically correct for the time.
Yeah. He's got one of the things, I had to do a talk at Presbyterian a month or so ago, and I was not bringing up Thomas, but I was bringing up the Aramaic Bible and going through some of those explanations and stuff. But one of the things I picked out were, as far as trying to explain parables, was I picked out the parables that started with, the kingdom of God is like.
Okay.
You know, just to kind of give a flavor, right, of where Jesus was coming, as far as what the kingdom of heaven was, what it was like, and his, you know, state of mind. And like I had picked out the kingdom of heaven is like the man who bought a field and found a treasure, right? He tilled the soil and he found a treasure. And I was trying to talk to him about the metaphysical meanings of these things from the Aramaic. And, you know, it's like I was saying, is me, that parable says, it speaks of open-mindedness. When you till the soil, that's tilling, that's separating, right? Tilling it up. So once you till the soil, then you have an open mind, and that's when you find the treasure. And that's the kingdom of heaven. It's that aha moments, you know, from open-mindedness. And I was trying to get him out of the realm of thinking, you can't be thinking about people and land, you know.
Right.
This is about thought. So
And effort. It takes, you got to put some effort into it tilling. So you got to put some effort in looking for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then the other one was the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant who had a lot of items and he found a pearl of great worth. And he sold everything else he had and kept the pearl. And to me, it's not about a man and a thing called a pearl. It's about relationship. That once you discover the tangible meaning and the heartfelt part about relationship, all the other items in your life are just things, are just so in thought, when you get rid of those little irritating thoughts or anything that keeps you away from the idea of true relationship, then you hang on to the pearl. So to me, the pearl was all about relationship. And then I talked to him about the woman who lost the coin, right?
Okay.
So here she is. I'm going in this particular parable. You're talking about something that if you're going to put it in people terms, something that somebody had to begin with, lost, searched diligently for it, and found it. And when they found it, there was great celebration. And to me, that was like peace of mind. Here you are in the morning, you wake up and you have a great peace of mind. Somebody gives you a dirty look or sarcasm or whatever, and you've lost it. You've lost your coin. You've lost your peace, right? And now you have to go look for it. And the only way to get over that is, like you were saying earlier, it's forgiveness. So that parable to me is about forgiveness. You have to forgive whatever it is in your life that has stole your peace. And then once you find your peace again, there's great celebration. And that's, the kingdom of heaven. And the last one was because we had this parable in a Sunday school class a few weeks before, and it was about the lost sheep, right? So leaves the 99 and goes after the one. When I read that, I don't think anywhere close to like people and animals. This is about that stray thought, that's in your mind, and it's gone on its own way, gone out in the wilderness, and it's gone out to play in the world of judgment, hatred, sarcasm, jealousy, all that. It has entered your mind, and now it has taken over. It's gone, and now you got to go find it. You got to go retrieve that thought and